LMAO, this dev team is a joke. We can't even play the game yet and y'all patching shh. This is what they consider listening to the community? Crying emoji. Game sounds more and more generic every day. What is wrong with you idiots? Oh my god, man. Can't read that one. I'm about to get packed up, canceled, sent to the gulag. Thanos was about to snap and just eliminate me. NBA 2K23 hasn't even come out yet and the community's up in flames. It all started on Twitter. Where else would it start? It all started on Twitter. Mike Wang put a tweet out. Everybody started freaking out. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to give my opinions on it actually and tell you why it's a lot of the arguments don't even make any sense because we're all debating two different things. We're all arguing two separate things. I'm gonna get into it, man. Make sure y'all drop a like on the video, subscribe if you guys are new, man. We're almost at 1 million subs. I think we're like 15 or 14K away. Make sure y'all go down there. Make sure you're subbed up to the channel. Appreciate y'all. Let's get into what is going on in the 2K community. So I log on to Twitter the other day and I see this tweet from Mike Wang. Dribble sig requirements are very similar to last year. I still recommend putting your ball handle rating up to 86 if you want everything. So I'm like, okay, they're not changing the dribble sig requirements. It's been like that for what? Probably like 2 or 3 years now that if you have 86 ball control and as long as you're below a certain height, you can unlock any dribble package you want. It wasn't since like, I don't remember, like maybe 2K18, they had some that were like 90 plus rating. But for the most part, the past couple years, 86 ball handling, under 6'5", you unlock all the dribble moves. But then Mike did this. He released a poll and asked, you guys want some signature dribble packages like Curry's to have even higher ball handle requirements? The poll got over 47,000 votes and over 70% of people said yes. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about the poll. When I think about the game and changes and stuff, I'm not thinking from a selfish perspective. I'm thinking about balance. I'm thinking about fun. I'm thinking about replay value. I'm thinking about how can we make the best 2K game? I'm going to adapt. I'm going to be fine. I know that. I'm not thinking about it how some people think about it. Some people want everything for their own type of build. You know, whatever build they like to play on, they want everything to favor that build. I'm not that type of guy. You guys know I make a million builds every year, so that wouldn't make any sense. And I just want the best game possible because that's going to allow me to make the best content possible. So I'm looking at this poll and I'm kind of in my head, I'm agreeing with this guy. I'm saying yes and no. I see both sides of it. I see both sides why they would want it and why they wouldn't want it. So the first argument of yes, let's make them put more attributes into ball handling, I understand. It's going to create a little bit more build diversity because if you're going to make a guard, you know, a guard that has high ball handling, high shooting, now you have to put even more attributes into your ball handling. That's going to take away from either their shooting, finishing, or defense. It's going to make that build less viable because they're not going to be able to just put a basic ball handle rating and be able to get everything they want. They're going to have to put more into it to make the build more elite, which is going to make other builds more viable, create more build diversity, etc., etc. But on the flip side, people are saying they don't want another year of 5'10", 5'8" guards that, you know, we're going to have to make small players if we want all the ball handle requirements to get all the dribble packages. We don't want another year of having, you know, everyone playing on midget guard builds. We want to have a more blah, 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 blah. Y'all see what I'm saying? But here's the issue. The big issue about any poll, about any tweet, about any question they're going to ask on Twitter or anywhere else. The big problem is you have people arguing two completely different games. You have the people that played current gen all year asking for changes, and then the people on next gen asking for changes, and they're asking for completely different things because they both dealt with completely different problems all year. And I think I'm in a pretty good position to say this as well because I created content from both games. I didn't sweat either one, but I played both enough to understand the issues of both. And I know people that literally only played one game, that they either played only current or only next gen. So you have them debating these topics or making decisions or voting on polls about these games when they didn't even play the other one. So they're strictly talking about from one perspective. And then you got all these people arguing on Twitter. Like, of course, you got the idiots that are throwing personal like jabs at each other and stuff because they're taking the virtual basketball game argument personal. But people that are actually debating the game, that's good. We want debate because that's healthy conversation that's gonna breed a better game. But the problem is they're both looking at it from one side's point of view because they didn't even play the other game to understand the other person's perspective. So it's it is beneficial, but in a way it's not. But let's move on. So Mike put that poll out, and although over 70% of people voted yes, a lot of people were upset. Why are y'all voting yes? I swear this community is a bunch of, not nice word. This guy said this is disgusting work. So immediately people are pissed. And then Mike dropped this tweet. and it got crazy. Just a few hours after dropping the poll, Mike tweets, "The people have spoken, amending this tweet, going to push some SIGs to 90 plus, meaning 90 plus ball handling." People went crazy. Y'all finna piss me off already. Game's not even out yet. He's already pissed. LOL, this is why I'm waiting to buy 2K. Now, in some aspects, it's kind of funny. Like, he raised the ball handle requirement by 4, and now you're not gonna buy. That's why you're not gonna buy the game, because he raised the ball handle requirement by 4. Like, that's funny to me. But listen, overall, like, I think the polls are a good idea. Listening to the feedback of the community is a good idea. But again, with 2 different games this year, like, I understand they say, you know, a lot of the games were similar, like the dribble animations were the same, but they were different games. Let's be honest, they were different games, different builders, different mechanics. Like, paint defense on current gen was way worse than it was on next gen. What the meta was on current gen was completely different than the meta on next gen. Like, it were 2 different games. As much as they tried to say, oh, we're gonna make it similar in gameplay wise, it was similar, but it was not the same, and that's for sure. And that's where a lot of these polls are going to lose their validity, because you got people debating 2 different things and voting on 2 different things. They're coming from 2 completely different games, voting on what the next game should be. And the next game is going to be 2 different games again. We know it's going to be 2 different games. They already told us that. So overall, like, to me, it's like a lot of activity without accomplishment, if that makes sense. It's like, we have the right idea, but we're not really executing it perfectly, because we're just combining the 2 games when they're completely different. So I think that's something that we could look at and maybe do a better job of as a community, but hey, probably no one's going to listen to me, so I'm just ranting. But let's move on. There was a couple other tweets that went out that I think you guys are going to want to see, so let's get into it. So Mike replied to a tweet that said, "The people seem to agree, give the defense a chance this year, please." He said, "So far, all the feedback from playtests have been that the defense is favored over the offense, so I think we're in a good place." Now, as someone who played both games, the defense can definitely be improved. On next gen, people are making contested shots like crazy. And then on current gen, I mean, it felt like you're playing on ice skates the whole game, and there absolutely being no paint defense at all. Like, those are both games deemed defensive improvements. And the sound of that tweet, you know, it sounds good and all, but I'm gonna be honest with you. They say this every year, and you know, in even like the first couple days, yes, the defense is fine, but it's not really because of the defense. It's because people haven't figured out the best dribble animations, the best jump shots, what the meta is gonna be, what the best movement to use on the game is, what's the easiest way to score, you know. So hopefully the defense can actually hold its own through the whole year. I mean, in past 2Ks, there was some pretty damn good defensive years, but the last couple, it just seems like it just favors the offense so much, between, like, people can just fade away limitless threes, and they're making whites from that range. They're making, you know, 20-30% contesteds because of blinders and mismatch expert, and, you know, stunning people with tight handles just by doing a basic cross. So, like, there's so many ways the offense has advantages on both games this year. Hopefully we get a year where, like, you play good defense, you're really locking people down. Now, don't get me wrong. Somebody in the comments are going to go, "Oh, just adapt, get better." Trust me, bro. You'll get dropped off. Like, let's relax. Like, I don't have a problem winning on the game. That's not why I'm saying this. I'm saying it to have a more balanced game. Like, let's be real. Moving on. Next thing Mike talked about was dunk requirements for 2K23, since some have asked, vertical requirements are new gen only. All right. So on current gen or old gen, whatever you want to call it, the vertical doesn't matter, just the dunk rating. But basically, as you can see, for the most part, it's the same as last year. 84 is going to give you the regular contact dunks. 92 is going to give you the elite. And then if you're under 6'5", 86 driving dunk will give you the small contact packages. And then for big men contact dunks, they changed it. No more driving dunk requirement. 0 on the driving dunk, but 80 standing for pro, 90 standing for elite. And last but not least, the $1 million question. What is going to be the dunk requirement for quick drops off 1? The best dunk package in the game. Mike said quick drops off 1 foot have a higher dunk requirement this year. 80 driving dunk and 60 vertical. Thank goodness, man. We had the best dunk package in the game last year only require a 65 driving dunk. So it made, like, those small, high ball control, high shooting play shots still able to get the best dunk package in the game. Like, I mean, I'm playing Prime on next gen. It's all people were doing. These little guards, left, right, shooting threes, and then just driving to the rack. Quick drops off 1. Really, really difficult to block. Same thing on current gen. You had play shots with quick drops off 1. Everyone had quick drops off 1. Every build had the best dunk package on the game. Made no sense. So thank goodness they're changing that. And hopefully that, you know, that creates a little bit more build diversity, and people who actually want to have dunking builds actually make higher dunk rating builds to get the quick drops off one and other dunk packages. You know, my last news video I was talking about, you know, they said like you're gonna get more takeover boosts for flashy dunks. Flashy dunks are gonna be harder to block, you know, because it's like now there's no reason to even put them on. There's no bonus to it, and you do a windmill, 9 times out of 10 it's like you're gonna get chase down blocked because you're putting the ball right in the defender's lap. So seems like they're doing a lot to help the slashers, or not even slashers, just builds that have a decently high dunk rating. So that's something different, I guess. So we'll see how that all plays out. But listen, overall, I love the fact that they're talking to the community. They're putting polls out, they're making changes based on what people want. But like I said, we got to find a little bit better way, because we got people that dealt with 2 different problems all year. People dealing with current gen problems, people dealing with next gen problems, and then they can't agree on anything because they're both talking about different problems that they were dealing with. They weren't dealing with the same issue, so to find common ground, like unless you played both games, is going to be very difficult. But like I said, let me know down in the comments what you think about upping the dribble requirements, the ball handle requirements to unlock some signature dribble animation, signature moves, whatever you want to call them, man. Let me know what y'all think. Appreciate y'all watching the video. Make sure to drop a like if you haven't already. I'm out. Peace.